Part 4. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 31. Not a Spider Mountain. The place had been sealed off by the demon slayer for a few days, and the swordsmen were not allowed to enter. Moreover, after feeling the power of mushrooms in another world last night, early this morning, the Ghost Slayer pillars and their lords all arrived here. Just for the first time, when the dungeon is opened, you can really see the people of the other world. Night. Butterflies endure slight movements in their ears. A mechanical voice rang out. And, after the sound, countless images came to my mind. She knew what they were. After experiencing Yin Susu's dynamic copy, she and Xianbo both knew. When you take on the next quest dungeon, you will get some of the original Fate screens. One of the 12 ghost moons, the 5th of the second quarter, the spider ghost. What a twisted family bond. The butterfly endures the pretty purple eyes and looks at the mountains not far away. Walk lightly and return to the makeshift camp. The main house is still lit up, and after strengthening the body in the past few days, although the curse has not been removed. However, the physical fitness is much better than before, and it can even be compared with the sub-healthy young people in modern society. Lord, the quest is open. Demon Slayer World Scattered Raiders Butterfly Ninja Open Team. Note that this quest is a geographically restricted quest and cannot be separated from the 5-kilometer range of the mission location. Level, 1-star hard dungeon. Butterfly Shinobi turns on the teaming function, and at the same time, a portal appears in the source space. Ying Zheng and the others looked from this end, and on the other side of the portal, it was Nation Spider Mountain. And on the side of the portal, it was the Butterfly Ninja, and his ghost-killing team. Everyone, listen up, if you can, you won't kill it, you won't kill it, keep it all. Everyone crossed the portal, and there were quite a few people. Don't look at it as a 1-star hard-level dungeon, but everyone knows it's easy. Therefore, whether it is Kyushu or Dakin, they have called people to come over to make soy sauce. Anyway, as long as you come in, there will be a reward. And Liangrong wasn't going to come over, but she couldn't help but remind them. Say hello to Butterfly Shinobi as you walk over, and then continue. Mr. Dong Huang Tai, Mr. Gai Nai, your 100 schools and imperial court masters over there in Great Qin will trouble you to restrain you. This demon is excellent research material. After the physical body is mutated, it is very immortal, although the memory of being a human is gone, but it can have sanity, and has a strong desire to eat people. So, don't kill them all, especially the next string, you must keep them. Liangrong said a lot, and everyone repeatedly promised that if they could catch it alive, they would never kill it. And everybody is equipped with a flashlight that has these kinds of beams, such as ultraviolet light. These things have a good effect on normal ghost test subjects in the past. This time it's a continuation of the test of the stronger ghosts. Wow! What a handsome girl! The small theater in Lianzu's brain began, and peach stars flashed in his eyes. Tomioka Yoshio's face was flat, but his mind was also shocked. The people who entered Nada Spider Mountain are still continuing. Points picked up for nothing, and there may even be other rewards. For example, Yin Susu's side, in addition to integrals, there is also internal force. But that's a limit, it's not. Butterfly. After Liangrong finished her work, she walked over to Butterfly Ninja. Hello, I'm a friend of Butterfly Ninja, Kyushu Liangrong. The 8 pillars nodded in unison, but did not speak. Butterfly Ren walked over with a smile on his face, and was about to speak to introduce Liangrong when the sky suddenly brightened. The whole mountain forest is like daylight. The Ghost Slayer couldn't help but look up. Blinding light, in the thousands, flew overhead. This. Sister Liangrong, is this the little sun? Butterfly Shinobu said in surprise. Haha. Looking at the shocked butterfly ninja and the ghost slayer pillars, Liangrong shook her head. It's not the sun in the daytime, it's an artificial light. Butterfly, the ghost thing you caught, after our research, there are many results. The light that comes out of the drone is a kind of light that can deal with ghosts. Still, only for the kind of weak ghosts you caught. As for this stronger one, I haven't tried it yet, and it just so happens that your copy is unlimited, so I'll just pull it over and try it. Butterfly Shinobu had a speechless expression on her face. After listening to Liangrong's words, she looked at the ghost scream that came from nowhere. I secretly said, isn't this called the sun? But also, the real sunlight is thousands of times more dazzling than this. Couldn't help but feel a hint of ghost mercy from Butterfly Ninja, but it was only for a moment. Who called them? They were taken by the scholars who called biological scientists in Kyushu. Tired, let's run away, it's all the sun outside. The next string Wu looked confused and hid in a room. Along with it are its family. And it was its sister who persuaded it to escape. Although the eerie sun outside is not as powerful as it is during the day. But as long as it is illuminated, at least more than half of the strength of the whole body will be suppressed. And if you shine for a long time, you will also die directly as in the daytime. Real death. It's like having your head cut off by a Nichiren knife. Anger rose in his heart, and he didn't wait for it to reprimand his sister. Suddenly, a rampant voice sounded outside. Ha ha ha. Consistent with the dungeon information, the so-called lower string army, the spider ghost family, are all here. I'm also a tyrant and I'm running around. Strategy for the All Heavens dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 32. Bow down, spider ghost. Hearing the rampant words outside, of course I was not convinced. Very unconvinced. If you have the ability, you can turn off the sun that hurts your eyes outside. You have the ability to go it alone. But it does not wait for it to guard against those who speak outside. Another voice shouted outside. Ha ha ha, male gang leader, it seems that the evil ghosts here, Dong Huang Tai, are also going to get a piece of the pie. The person who came was the Eastern Emperor Tai. But although the two of them said that they were here, they didn't do anything, and seemed to be waiting for someone. Your Excellency the Eastern Emperor, this evil ghost is not very good, just catch one. Just grab one and give it to Kyushu. Kyushu said that when the time comes, the immortal nature of the ghost body's body will be unlocked, and the results will be shared. To be honest, the strength of the demon can only be said to be average. Xianba, Dong Huang Tai, Gai Nai and others naturally don't take this thing seriously. There is only one. That's the nature of demons. You can't bask in the sun, and you won't be killed by anything other than the so-called Nichika knife. In addition, he needs to be decapitated before he can die. And, you can live forever. Although there is time to buy with the Time Planning Bureau. But it's expensive. The Tower of Origin is a large consumer of points, and it also costs points to transfer items from another world. Although the points of a single item are not high, every time the cart is pulled back, the points consumed accumulate and are not low. Therefore, everyone was interested in the immortal nature of ghosts. And this evil ghost can still continue to evolve and become stronger. According to the information, this next string is just scum. In this world, there is also a ghost king, and the so-called winding ghost. Especially the ghost king, who everyone cares about the most. What is his blood? It can actually mutate people and turn them into powerful immortal demons. The Kyushu Research Institute and the Dakin physician have shown a strong interest in this. It's just that I pity the demons who were traded by the butterfly ninja. Everyday lives a life of being studied that is worse than death. Oh, and the spider ghost family who are about to contribute to scientific research. Your Excellency the Eastern Emperor, the leader of the Xiong gang, thank you too for waiting for the old man. Zhang Jinren. The two responded in unison. In his eyes, there was no contempt for Zhang Sanfan, who was from low martial arts. Instead, I felt shocked. Good guy, this Zhang Sanfan is actually a martial artist who has cultivated to the top of the world. In a world that was almost at the end of the Dharma, he had cultivated to the highest transcendent realm that world could allow. In the end, there is no way, after you can't improve, you can feel your mood and improve your martial arts. After entering the origin space, the growth of cultivation is instantly improved. Now it has reached the realm of the strongest group of people in Great Qin. This is still the result of Zhang Sanfan's suppression. Moreover, he didn't even dare to enter the Tower of Origin. According to the Lord, it's that Zhang Sanfan is no longer practicing martial arts. Rather, he has comprehended the way to the fairyland. In other words, he was already cultivating immortals. And he still entered the Tao with martial arts, and comprehended the true meaning of Tai Chi, the way of yin and yang. It's like a sparrow eating a cow pie, a finch eating a cow pie. Compared with the yin and yang principles of the yin and yang family, Zhang Sanfan, who was born in low martial arts, actually surpassed his predecessors and comprehended his own Tao. It can be said that the path of cultivation in the future will be extremely smooth. I can't help but admire masters such as Hong Huangtai and Xianba. But admiration is admiration. Like their kind of heart, of course, they will not bow to the wind. That, of course, is to catch up. The three of them exchanged martial arts experiences here, but for a while. Gai Nai and others also arrived here. The Butterfly Ninja Kill team is also here. What they were curious about was the bright spotlights in the mountains on their heads. Even evil spirits can be suppressed. Ordinary ghosts die as if they were exposed to the sun. The next string didn't even dare to show his face. If only the demon slayer had this thing. Dealing with ghosts at night, the swordsmen don't have to suffer so much damage. If it is this lamp, it will also work for the upper wind. Fortunately, Liang Rong also said that she would leave some for Butterfly Ninja to use to deal with ghosts, and collect usage data by the way. And when everyone gathered, the spider ghost family, feeling the huge breath outside, their legs and stomachs were trembling. Bang! Don't wait for them to find a way to escape. Dong Huangtai directly slapped the wooden house open, revealing the spider ghost family. At the same time, it is illuminated by strong light. The demons wailed. Only the next string can still be confused again, looking at everyone fiercely. Is this a spider turned into a man? In the distance, a researcher in a white coat behind Liang Rong, his eyes were translucent, flashing with excitement, looking at the human-headed spider. With a few scientific researchers beside him, as well as people from the doctor's family, he pointed at the spider ghost family. Don't kill, this evil ghost must stay alive, this is the best scientific research material. Ding. Real-time dynamic copy completed. Rewards 500 points, extraordinary second-order flesh active elixir *1. After the real-time dynamic copy is completed, you can stay or leave at will, but you must have the consent of the replica initiator. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 33. Ding. Congratulations on clearing the real-time dynamic dungeon. Reward 1, Stellar Interstellar Weapon, from the Men in Black world. Reward 2, open the secret realm of the flesh treasure we'll see, from the world of covering the sky with one hand. Bonus reward, Lily Tone, from the Crow world. Rim Sea Secret Realm. Interstellar Weapons. Lily Sound. Holy. Era stroked the 9 tails, his eyes shining, looking at the light curtain reward prompt. Pick it up, get it? In an instant, Gun felt an inexplicable change in his body. The entire secret realm belonging to the Sea of Wheels is opened. The bitter sea, the spring of life, the bridge of the gods, the other side. The strength of the physical body has been greatly improved, and the strength of oneself has increased greatly. However, due to the lack of a technique to cover the sky with one hand, Gun just felt that his body was a lot stronger. Moreover, the quality and quantity of internal forces have also increased. And the second, a stellar weapon. It was an irregular crystal floating in front of you. Reach out and touch it gently. This crystal changed its form in an instant, turning into a black technology weapon. This was exactly the weapon of the world of the men in black that Epic remembered him. This star weapon, driven by the energy in the center of the weapon, is a blue giant star compressed to the extreme. Shimmering with a clear blue glow. Cattle pie? I want to try the power of this weapon. Epic had a weapon in his hand, looking left and right, his hand tickling. Good things can only be eaten in the warehouse, and the arrow feels distressed. And the last reward. Lily sound. Gun still remembers the shock when he saw this anime. That smooth fight. Gorgeous armor and skills. It simply made the 16-year-old Epic's blood boil, and he couldn't wait to become a crow. Put on that pure black armor, slay demons, and protect the city. It's a pity that the company that produced the anime made the company's anniversary a day of destruction. However, what would it be like if you got the Lily sound yourself? The will of the origin space-based city? System, let's talk about Lily in detail. Ding. Lily Yin belongs to the ancient nature fairy, is the guardian of the earth, and is the guardian spirit condensed by the will of the city. Now connected to the origin space, manifested under the will of the primordial master, and turned into the will of the heavens. From now on, as long as you sign a contract with Lily in the origin space and pay a certain amount of points, you can let Lily Yin appear in the city. Note that each city has only one Lily sound, and the Lily sound is the embodiment of the city's will. Lily sound ability is a contract. After making a contract with Lilyan, you can become a contractor, crow. Urian can command the contractor to fight and protect the city. The strength level of the contractor, bound to the Lily sound. Ding. The Lily sound of the origin space has been successfully conceived. It has been connected to the will of the heavens, and in the name of the primordial Lord, it has blessed the heavens and all worlds. Heavenly origin will city guardian fairy, Lily sound. Level, heaven level, 9th order consummation, increases with the level of the base city. Ability introduction, any raider can sign a contract with Baehwin, pay points, and obtain the quota of the contractor. There's a lot of information about Lily sound, and Gun doesn't have the heart to read it all the time. Now his attention is on the Lily in front of him. It's a little different from what I remembered, in the anime. Although they are the same petite body, they don't have the iconic goggles, and their clothes are different. Long straight black hair and a delicate face. Wearing a white robe, simple but extremely sacred. Lily Yin looked at the somewhat stunned Era, and her eyes were a little confused. It seems that it has just been conceived, and it is still a little confused. I saw Urian walk up to Gun and throw the 9 tails away from Gun's arms. With a blank face, he turned around cutely, and then sat down. Leaning on the Era, he whispered in his mouth, "Lord." Then, there was a slight sound of breathing, which came slowly. Urian, is this asleep? Gun was stunned for a long time. The 9 tails, who looked confused on the side, hadn't figured out the situation yet, and their heads were buzzing. But it didn't dare to shoot at the petite body. It seems that if you dare to make a move, you will immediately fall into a state of no return. With a soft whimper, he walked over to Epic and lay down. Gun, on the other hand, smiled and stroked Urian's long hair, making her sleep more comfortably. On the cold face, there is a trace of sparkling saliva flowing from the corners of the mouth. Half a month later. In the past half a month, the origin space has been very stable, and no new copies have been opened. Xianba, he didn't run to brush it himself because the copy of Lingyun Cave hadn't been opened yet. Don't doubt his current strength, which is more than twice as powerful now as before he entered. And that mud bodhisattva, I haven't looked for it for a long time, and now I'm still looking for a fart. He walked over to the dungeon bulletin board in the center of what is now Bay City and took a closer look. There are nearly 100 one-star dungeons at the ordinary level, and dozens at the adventure level. There are also more than a dozen hard levels. There is only one king level 1-star dungeon. Everyone wants to brush, but the owner doesn't open it, and everyone can only continue to brush zombies now. This is the most stable source of earning points. There were many people around. Either you just took a break from farming zombies, or you just came out of the Tower of Origin. Suddenly, everyone's light curtain suddenly opened, and the information of the intelligent elf jumped out. Everyone thought it was a new copy. You can see the information. City Guardian Fairy, Lily Tone. Open City Contract. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 34. The Great Hall of the Heavenly Raiders. There are seats in powerful countries, and there are seats for scattered people. In other words, at that time, the Eras sent 5 scattered invitations. So far, only 3 have found the raiders. Xianba has 1 seat for 1 person, Zhang Sanfan and Yin Susu have 1 seat, and Butterfly Ren has 1 seat for 1 person. Butterfly Shinobu didn't have a change of fate, so he didn't get an invitation, so he let his companions in. And at the moment, the hall is in chaos. Everybody's arguing. And the 2 noisy parties are Dakin and Kyushu. Don't look at how pleasant they work together. But what was in front of them was that the 2 of them were in the middle of the hall, tearing off their collars and throwing dirty words at each other. Butterfly Ren and Yin Susu are red-faced, and these big men swear dirty, which is simply too ugly. Especially those who are literate and scold people without swearing. Zhang Sanfan and Xianba watched for a long time, and they didn't help each other. But what are they arguing about? Of course, it's for the City Guardian Fairy, Lily Sound. To be precise, it's for a contract with Urian. There are only 20 contract quotas. The 3 heroes have given up, mainly because there is too much demand for points. And the information is also said, and it will be added in the future. But even so, Dakin and Kyushu fought for more contract places. You know, a place can contract a city. How many cities are there in Kyushu? How many cities are there in Dakin? And in terms of information, above the county seat, even if it is a city, you can sign a Lily contract. But whether it is Dakin or Kyushu, they are not so stupid, and if they are put in the county seat, it will be a waste. There are too few places now, and there will be enough places in the future. Because the Lily Sound contract city will be based on the size of the city, population, development, morality, and so on, to position the strength. Kyushu has spent points and checked it. Kyushu Kyoto if it is a contract Lily Sound. The Kyoto Lily Sound that was bred is at least the level of the contractor, at least at the immortal level. Transcendent 9th Order, Human Immortal 9th Order, Earth Immortal 9th Order, Heavenly Immortal 9th Order, Supreme Immortal 9th Order, Heavenly Realm. This is the unified hierarchical division of the origin of the heavens. After the immortal level, I only know that it is the Heavenly Realm, but I don't know the specifics. And the contract with Kyoto Urian, even if it is a waste, it can immediately become the lowest immortal level existence. And the will, talent, aptitude, and heart of the contractor, etc. Naturally, the stronger it will be. And after the contract, what abilities will be obtained, what form of fairy armor, it is unknown. Moreover, even the lowest human immortal level strength will not be afraid of even mushrooms. It's not that it's hard to resist. It's about the mushroom treatment. The human immortal level already has all kinds of abilities, and it can deal with mushroom bombs. Especially in its own contract city, its combat power has increased greatly. That's why Kyushu wants to compete for more contract places. Finally, after the friendly exchanges between the two sides, the quota was finally confirmed. Of the last 20 places, 14 were obtained by Kyushu and 6 by Dakin. For this, Kyushu of course paid a great price. For example, a series of aids to Great Chin include almost all aspects. For Dakin, buying and selling is still very cost-effective. They are not like Blue Star Kyushu, surrounded by enemies on all sides. It's already Onao who is honored and unifies the world. And Kyushu, if there are 14 contract places. Relying on such forces, it can be said that the deterrent power of mushrooms has been greatly reduced for them. Finally, of course, there is the issue of the contractor. If it's an Earth immortal level, Tisk, then the whole Blue Star has no problems for them to think about. In the end, everyone was very satisfied. The number of Guardian Elf-tail contract places, one is 100,000 points. This is the reason why the three parties scattered and gave up the purchase. As for borrowing points, the Sanfang Sanren is not an ignorant person, how can he open this mouth? 100,000 points, that's killing zombies, you have to kill 10 million to get it. I really think I can borrow it by opening my mouth. Haha, Mr. Li Si, the elders of Kyushu, but every day they are talking about asking His Majesty Emperor Qin to come over and communicate with each other. Wu Changguo took Li Si's hand and said cordially. There is no longer the red face and thick neck just now. Li Si did the same, squinting and nodding his head again and again. Commander Wu, Your Majesty is also talking in the palace, let the elders of Kyushu come to Dakin to play. After all, this is a parallel world in Kyushu more than 2,000 years ago, and it has this different style. Wu Changguo hurriedly promised that he would report the matter to the elders when he went back. In the end, they each bought the contract quota, left the origin space, and hurriedly dealt with the contract. And looked at the two people who were still arguing just now. Now it seems to be the closest companion. Yin Susu couldn't help but endure the butterfly, and Liang Rong complained. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 35. Kyushu. After the contract quota is purchased, the first time, of course, is to find a suitable city bond. Bind the city first, then bind the contractor. Moreover, the binding of the contractor is not something that can be bound by a person who will shout for a while. After you need to bind the city, awaken the city guardian fairy lily sound. It is chosen by the lily tones themselves. After passing the trial of Urian, after the selection is completed, it will be decided by Kyushu. The same is true of Great Chin. Of course, there will be a dedicated person in charge of this, and most of them are still mainly focused on the dungeon. Xianba sits cross-legged on top of the futon. 3 points to vitality, 7 points to ahem. The 3-point return of one's own vitality has long been different from the original. Originally, it was a top-notch martial art composed of wind, clouds, and frost. Now, under more martial arts knowledge, through the comprehension and deduction of the Tower of Origin. From a transcendent 4th order exercise, it has become a transcendent 7th order exercise today. Under the exchange with Zhang Sanfan, Dong Huang Tai, Gai Nai, Xiao Aizai and other martial arts powerhouses. Of course, Xianba knows one thing, only what is best for himself is the best. 3 points of return to vitality is the mastery of his own enlightenment for many years. Even if there is a better martial art at the moment, he will not change it at will. Instead, it is to be melted in a furnace, like that Zhang Sanfan, and walk out of his own way. At this moment, the internal force around the Xianba's body turned into a round ball that rotated all the time. Except for the wind, the clouds, and the frost. There are flames, rain, ice, and thunder. The 7 natural forces of heaven and earth are dissolved in one furnace. It is imprinted and domineering, as if it is a god in nature. After a long time, the work was calmed down. Zhang Zhenren's Tai Chi Tao is really mysterious. If there is no meaning of Tai Chi mixed Yuan, I am afraid that these forces will always fight for each other, and they can't be dissolved in a furnace. Xianbo muttered, but the light curtain flashed in front of him. Here's the copy information. Look at the information carefully, and your eyes will sparkle. Special dungeon open. 1-star hard level dungeon, Diablo World. This copy is the first act of the world. Note that this quest is a special quest and requires the consumption of points to enter. The consumption of points for this quest is 10 points deducted for each hour in the quest. Less than 1 hour will be deducted as 1 hour. Note that due to the entanglement of the power of the god of hell and the god of heaven, the heaven and the earth are abnormal, and people from the outside world will be suppressed by different sizes. Hereby reminded, this dungeon is a drop-type dungeon, and every time you kill a monster, you have a chance to drop a variety of precious items and props. Note that this quest is a restricted dungeon, and it has different latitudes, with a maximum of 5 people entering at a time, and restricted technology weapons. Diablo. Drop dungeon. Consume points to enter the different latitude. Xianbo muttered to himself, hurriedly walked out of the secret room, explained a few words to Wenzhou, and disappeared without a trace. The rivers and lakes are very quiet now, at least the world will be very quiet. In the past, the world society was fighting every day, killing everywhere. And today's Tianxia Club is a tiger who stays at home and puts away its minions. Like Naifenbu Jingyun and others, they were all puzzled. These days, not only does he not even care about the mud bodhisattva. And every time I see Xianba, I can find that he is more and more unfathomable and awe-inspiring. But day by day, he almost disappeared. One can't help but wonder. But Xianba doesn't care about this, and now he doesn't care about these things on the rivers and lakes anymore. For example, his own copy of Lingyun Cave is just a fire unicorn. I don't care much about the things inside. Compared to what is better than the original copy, it is simply too far behind. If it weren't for the fear that he would sweep in advance, he would cause changes in his own dungeon, which would cause the UN master to dislike it. He had already gone to brush up on the copy, tied up the fire unicorn, and dedicated the fire unicorn to the UN Lord. Or to the Kyushu Institute of Biology, as well as the Dakin doctor to do research. I almost forgot, if I brought Kyushu's costumes and novelties, I forgot about it. And the day I was drinking, and I heard Captain Yunlong say that with the evil ghost of the butterfly girl, Kyushu and the great Qin doctor jointly developed a flesh-active potion. Although it is much worse than the last reward, the price is affordable, so you can buy a batch and use it to cultivate my disciples of the world society. Thoughts flashed through Xianba's mind. While greeting everyone. Usually everyone is very busy, busy with dungeons, busy with cultivation. Xianba only occasionally goes to Kyushu or Dakin for a visit. There were a lot of people here today. It seems that they were all attracted to this special dungeon. Ladies and gentlemen, this copy is somewhat similar to my Kyushu game. Liang Rong pushed her glasses and asked the intelligent elf to open a light curtain in mid-air for everyone to see. While speaking, everyone knows the game. If you try to play my Kyushu computer mobile phone, you should know. Haha, Miss Liang Rong is right, the kind of online game I played in your Kyushu has a point card game, which is the same as the point consumption of this copy. Zhang Sanfan took off his sunglasses and said in a black suit. That's right, and this drop type dungeon is also the same as the game, killing monsters will drop equipment. Liang Rong smiled slightly and nodded at Zhang Sanfan. And then continued. The only problem now is that this quest is entangled with the power of the gods. Everyone nodded, it was related to gods and demons, and this place must be dangerous. But what are you afraid of? Since the UN Lord has released the copy, he must have taken precautions. That's right, we just have to farm the copy. Is there anyone together to form a team of 5? I want to brush. Under the single brush. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 36. Everyone, be quiet. In the middle of Great Qin, the Eastern Emperor Tai waved his hand. Then he frowned, looked at the light curtain and said, now that the copy has been released, we naturally believe in the UN Master and are fully prepared for us. There are 2 things to think about now. Everyone looked at Dong Huang Tai quietly. He also enjoyed the feeling of being so eye-catching, and was able to explain the copy of the UN Master. Let him feel that the UN Master will also pay attention to himself. And what I'm going to say is the of precautions for copy information. The latitude mentioned in this copy is different. Suppression with the power of the dungeon gods. Everyone nodded one after another, secretly saying that these 2 things are indeed unknown to everyone. But immediately someone stood up and explained to everyone. Haha, Miss Liang Rong, let the old Taoist come to explain the ugliness to everyone. Liang Rong hurriedly waved her hand. Zhang Zhenren, you say yes. Zhang Sanfan pulled the beard that was carefully trimmed by Kyushu. Speak. The matter of latitude is actually quite simple. The previous copy, once brushed, it is gone. This time it was clearly not the case. The different latitudes mean that after every team of 5 people enters, when the other teams enter again, the 2 sides are in different dark dungeon secret realms. But it's the same quest for the secret realm. Miss Liang Rong, I should be right. Liang Rong nodded and gave a thumbs up. Yin Susu has a proud face. Although this master of his own family is from a low martial arts, he is one of the strongest martial arts in the entire origin space. Don't look at him like an old naughty boy, often running to Kyushu to play. But the zombies it killed can be piled up with a few Wudang. But the strength of the entire Wudang has been greatly improved. Then what we have to think about now is the matter of suppression. Gagne said to the crowd. That's right, this suppression, how much will be suppressed for our strength, and I will think about it in vain, so as not to cause disasters to our disciples and disciples. Why don't you let a team go in and try it first? Everyone nodded, thinking it was a good idea. The Eastern Emperor Tai also nodded, and then immediately said. That's it, I'll start a group, let's have a few people who are not bad, and we'll wait for you to explore the truth for the live broadcast. What do you think? Dong Huang Tai's proposal is good, and of course everyone has no opinion. Eastern Emperor Tai opens a team, Dark Destruction Mystery Realm. Gainai application for joining copy. Xianba application to join dungeon. Zhang Sanfan's application to join the copy. Kyushu did not participate here, so let the strong ones go first, and there is no need to fight for the first place. Dong Huang Tai also understands the sophistication of human feelings, and does not use all the people of Dakin. 3 scattered people, except for Butterfly Shinobi, did not apply. Agreed to the joining of Xianba and Zhang Sanfan. Dakin joined Gainai and Xiaomeng. A sword saint and a Taoist Tianzong, and himself, the leader of the Yin and Yang family. This is the Wasteland 5 in the first act of the Dungeon Dark Realm. It's nice to be here. After that, the Masters of Great Qin, such as Dong Jun Yanfei, Wei Chuang, Xiao Aizai, and so on. These people can continue to form teams. Dakin. Yingzheng is busy and happy now. Great Qin's national strength is thriving, and fertility is vigorously encouraged. Then he actively captured people from the entire Qin world, paved the way for the bridge to build bridges in Dakin, and contributed to the construction of the project. Fortunately, there are a few copies, and I got some people who understand basic industry. For example, the Time Planning Bureau, although it is only a city, it still has a large population. Let Yingzheng relieve a lot of employment pressure. After all, there are too many illiterate people in Dakin. And now, for the sake of education, the simplified Chinese characters of Kyushu have also been introduced. A series of educational methods designed for the common people and children of Dakin were discussed. Yingzheng thought about it and looked at the screen in front of him. Flashed through the situation in various parts of Dakin today. Your Majesty, the Eastern Emperor Tai has opened up the dark secret realm in a group, why don't you take a break and take a look? Zhao Gao whispered and asked people to give Yingzheng some pastries and fruits. Yingzheng nodded. The pressure of government affairs now, there is the civil and military of the Manchu dynasty, as well as the assistance of Kyushu. You don't need to be too busy, just watch the live broadcast. According to the information, this copy of the secret realm has the power of the gods. Moreover, there is actually a latitude, similar to this dungeon secret realm, with countless parallel worlds. Everyone can enter one of them alone or in a team, and then farm monsters to play quests. It's really fun. The power of the primordial lord is simply beyond the possession of the gods. Kyushu. Great Elder, are you still struggling with the binding of the city guardian goblins? It was a rare gathering of several elders today for a meeting on the selection of contract cities in various parts of Kyushu. This was finally chosen, but I didn't expect the Great Elder to be a little entangled. Great Elder, anyway, there will be places in the future, what to worry about. What the second elder said is, let's take a break today. Just now Wu Changguo came to the news, saying that there is a new copy, let's also take a look at the live broadcast. Several elders talked and laughed, and the pressure and burden of the past can now be said to be mostly relieved. They are now planning to improve the physical fitness of the whole people. Prepare for entering an extraordinary civilization in the future, and even entering the interstellar era. They are confident in this. The external pressure can no longer stop the soaring dragon of Kyushu. After all, even the physical active agent has been developed, and after that, there will be a stronger genetic agent. Then, the light curtain opened, and everyone was attracted by the pictures in the live broadcast. That's a somewhat dilapidated, somewhat small camp. Strategy for the All Heavens dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 37. Dungeon Dark Destruction Mystery. In the camp, there was a sudden flash of fluctuation of rules. Several figures appeared. This is the Dark Realm. Xianba's eyes swept around and whispered. The whole camp is not large, surrounded by a wooden fence. There are also 5 brand new tents throughout the camp. The name of each palm tent shows the names of each of the 5 corresponding raiders. After the 5 of them had turned over the entire camp, they gathered together. The strength suppression is not strong, and it will probably suppress 1 or 2% of the strength. Dong Huangtai said his feelings. Everyone compared themselves, and probably suppressed this point. Not much. Lao Dao is interested in this tent. Zhang San pointed to the tent, and then said. The tent is a personal space where you can go in and rest, and it is also a place where you can store items and props, and other people are not allowed to enter their tent. Then Xiaomeng of Taoist Tianzong also talked about his discovery. Uncharted shop. The secret store of this dungeon does not need to be cleared to open. And it's directly opened in the dungeon. Xiaomeng took a few people to the edge of a magic array. Portal. Note, you need to consume any gem to open the portal. Several people were amazed by this so-called portal. This is a kind of magic array that can be crossed in an instant even if it is thousands of miles away. Just beside this teleportation array, there was a stone monument erected. Reach out and press it to the stone tablet to open the secret shop. Similarly, this secret store also consumes points. However, there are only a few goods inside, but each one is more expensive. For example, the identification scroll that can identify items. A portal scroll that can be used to open a portal. A healing potion that can be used to heal any injury, and a mana potion that replenishes one's otherworldly energy. That's all there is to it, nothing else. But the cheapest potion, the lowest level potion, also costs 50 points. That scroll costs 150 points apiece. That's good, let's add a little bit first, mainly the city scroll. Zhang Sanfan opened his mouth to remind a few people, and he took care of himself, and each bought a little. And Dong Huangtai took a scroll back to the city, thought about it in his heart, and then directly crushed one. Buzz. Out of thin air, a portal with a flickering white light appeared next to the Eastern Emperor Tai. Everyone was very interested when they saw this. Your Excellency the Eastern Emperor, look at the portal magic array. With the voice of the hero, several people looked over. There's a portal opening. I'll try. As soon as the Eastern Emperor Tai finished speaking, he stepped straight in, and the figure appeared in the magic array the next moment. Then, he entered the portal from that side and returned to where he was. Once you go back and forth, this portal will disappear and can only be used once. And as long as you open the scroll, whether you use it or not, it will disappear after 10 minutes. The Eastern Emperor Tai used the information obtained from the scroll of returning to the city and said it. The people who watched the live broadcast outside were also immediately interested. Team, I've already made an appointment with Wei Shuang, and 3 more people. Team, women's team, the moon god has come, Dong Junyan concubine. There are people who can't wait and want to go in too. But he was still dissuaded. Wait for the reclamation team to get a little more information, it's not too late. And at Camp Raj, Gani also led a few people to a place. Kid the Profiteer's treasure trove. You can spend points to purchase any non-identifying items, and they will be automatically identified after purchase. Note that at least one quest needs to be completed to open the Treasure Vault Mall. Well-wisher's reminder, don't trust Kid, he's a profiteer. And in the end, after figuring out the camp, it was natural to go out and fight monsters and give it a try. And as everyone went out, a curtain of light unfurled and closed the door. The word mission immediately appears on it. Respect the traveler of the other world, there is an extremely evil cavern in the wasteland, and the vicinity of that cave is full of shadow creatures, as well as monsters crawling out of the grave. Please find this dark cave labyrinth and destroy all the evil monsters. This is our first mission, to find a cave called the Cave of Evil. The 5-member team immediately went into action. Leaving Rog's camp, the farming dungeon officially began. And the monsters here are also eye-opening. A red-skinned dwarf monster called the Sinking Demon, extremely fast, dexterous and agile. The main thing is that this monster is immortal, and as long as it is killed, it will soon be resurrected by a kind of sinking demon wizard. And also in groups. If the team is not strong, it is better not to touch it hard. And you have to kill the fallen demon sorcerer first. In addition, there are zombie-like monsters called zombies. Slow to move, can be killed at will. There's also a monster that likes to sneak attack, the hard-haired mouse. This rat is bigger than some cats and dogs. And the drop is strategy for the All Heavens dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 38. It's exploding again. Everyone's eyes lit up. And the first to pick up things was Xiaomeng. It's an unidentified one, I'll see what the attributes are. Xiaomeng took out the identification scroll from the small bag he was carrying, and crushed it. In an instant, the unidentified item in his hand flashed with a glimmer of brilliance. There was an inexplicable chill that emanated from it. Xiaomeng smiled even more, knowing that it must be out of the spirit gold. And it's spirit gold with frozen attributes. Lingjin. Level, Transcendent 4th Order. Attribute, Frozen. Effect, can be used to craft weapons, armor, and other items, and the finished product will have a chance to obtain the frozen attribute effect. Haha, Miss Xiaomeng's luck is really good, there are a total of 3 attribute spirit gold, all of which you have identified. Zhang Sanfan quipped. But it's no wonder. In the dark secret realm, fighting monsters or discovering treasure chests, etc., will randomly drop items. There are unidentified items, potions, points, and scrolls. The unidentified items will be identified and will be rewarded with spiritual gold or other items. Spirit gold, on the other hand, is a metal with attribute effects. However, there is also a chance to obtain metal without attribute effects. And what are the attributes? There are many attributes, but the meaning in the dark world is fire, freezing, lightning, poison, 4 attributes. There are 5 people in the East Emperor, and there are a lot of monsters. Leave the camp and come to this bloody wasteland in search of the evil cavern. I don't know how many monsters I brushed. Even the tribe of the fallen demon was wiped out by 5 people by force. However, in total, no more than 7 unidentified items were obtained. Among them, Xiaomeng gave him 3 pieces of attribute spirit gold, and the other people identified them were all spirit gold without attributes. Guys, I seem to see a cave in front of me. While a few people were laughing, Guy Nai pointed to the dark cave that was looming in the dim environment. The Dark Wilderness team, which can be regarded as a victory in the first battle, has found the evil cave and is about to complete the task. And those who watched the live broadcast outside couldn't help it at the moment. Killing monsters can drop rich items, especially those with attributes. As for the spirit gold, you can find a forging master to create a spirit weapon with special attribute effects. If you use spirit gold to create a spirit weapon that fits you, your strength will be more than several times. So at this moment, everyone can still bear to live here to watch the live broadcast, and they have started to form teams. The Eastern Emperor Tai and the others in the copy said that the strength was suppressed, but it was only 1 or 2%, which was indeed nothing. And the strength of the monster is not very high. But also pay a little attention to the elite of the monsters, and the bosses. Open the group, come to a Taoist red hand to touch the treasure. Dakin team, speed, I'm a professional raider of Kyushu game dungeons, someone is here. The Mo family opens a group, only the Mo family disciples are formed, and then there is a Taoist Tianzong red hand. For a while, the teeming information of the dark dungeon instantly lined up hundreds on the light curtain. Of course, there are also people who like to act alone and go straight to the scene by themselves. And at the entrance to Bay City, 2 rays of light and shadow flashed. It's just that 2 new scattered raiders are coming. One was a young man who didn't look very old and had a cold face. One was a young man with a surprised face, dressed in orange and yellow. Suzuki. Naruto. Gun didn't expect that the 2 remaining invitations from the previous 2 scattered people. I actually invited people from the same world. From the Konoha village of that 5 ninja fighting village. And it's still those 2 protagonists. Sitting in the middle of the sacred mountain, he looked at the 2 of them from afar, and under the guidance of the intelligent elves, he entered the Bay City. Lilian, do you want me to help the scattered people to work harder? They are too few in number, and they need to increase their teammates. Combing Lily's straight black hair, Gun asked softly. Lillian just squinted her eyes, and when she saw Gun asking, she didn't speak, but just squeezed more into Gun's arms. And the Ninetales were helpless and didn't dare to provoke Lillian. Their main position was snatched away, and they didn't dare to let go of a fart. Then I felt the same breath as myself. The breath of a nine-tailed. No, it should be said that it is the breath of half a nine-tailed. Compared to himself, that nine-tailed is simply weak. Thinking of this, Ninetail's depressed mind instantly went halfway. Nestled beside Gun, he yawned, squinting and enjoying the ubiquitous power of the great Deo origin. The epic was still thinking about what he had just considered. There is only one person in Butterfly Ninja and Xianba, but Yin Susu summoned Zhang Sanfan over. But there are too few of them, and the speed of farming zombies to earn points is too slow. Or put it on the store and set it up so that only casual people can see the invitation and make a purchase. Well, that's fine. Then the number is limited to each side of the scattered world, and you can buy 10 of them. The epic made a decision, the price was not high, and all 3 of them could afford it. On the contrary, the newcomers can't afford this. And just as Epic combed Yuri's hair, during a live broadcast, a gorgeous golden light flashed. This dazzling golden light shined out of the live broadcast room and attracted many people's attention. And it was a group of women who identified the golden light that appeared on the object. Yin Susu, Butterfly Ninja, Liang Rong, Moon God, Dong Jun Yanfei. The person who recognizes the object is the Butterfly Ninja. The flickering golden light made several people present unable to open their eyes. It looks like something really good. Wait for the golden light to dissipate. Hurriedly looked. Butterfly, something good. Dongjun, pay attention to the image. Ahem. And in the hands of Butterfly Shinobi, it is a gem and a book. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 39. Diamond. Level, Transcendent 4th Order. Can be used to enchant weapons or armor. Weapon enchantment, gain divine power and increase damage to dark undead. Armor enchantment, gain divine power, so that the armor gains defense against elemental attributes. Frost Nova Skill Book. Level, Transcendent 6th Order. Effect, unleashes a ring made of frost to damage enemies, and has a chance to freeze and slow down enemy movement speed. Skill Books and Enchanted Gems. Liang Rong marveled at the 2 things that the Butterfly Ninja dared to open. There can still be such a magical item. How to divide it? Let's auction, whoever wants the 5 of us will bid, the highest bidder will win, and the other 4 will share the money in the end. This is Liang Rong's proposal. The girls thought about it and agreed. Among them, Yin Susu and Butterfly Ren gave up, and their demand for points was higher than the demand for these things. And maybe you can hit it later. And everyone in the outside world was even more surprised by this. A skill book that allows you to learn the transcendent 6th order magic. A magic gem used to enchant weapons and equipment. The appearance of these 2 things instantly made the Dark Dungeon popular throughout the origin space. Kyushu and Dakin are even more concerned. Moreover, Kyushu has now let go of its footsteps and began to vigorously draw soldiers into the origin space. The city guardian elf has begun to awaken and is already among the contractors to be selected. Kyushu is now really confident. That's why I dare to buy fast and move forward. What they are afraid of now is not that they will be found out about anything on the Blue Star. Is afraid of falling behind in the origin space, which is the first consideration of Kyushu now. Dakin is rapid, and the scattered people are also developing. I don't know when, there will be a third-party force, and the quartet will be handed over. How dare Kyushu relax? Therefore, of course, For places like darkness where you can continuously obtain transcendent materials, it is more important. And in the original space. These days, there is an endless stream of people who team up to farm monsters and do tasks. Indulge in monster farming, 4 points, spirit gold, magic gems, and skill books. The forging masters of Dakin are even busier. With the increase of spiritual gold, there are always people who have the wealth to buy it directly and create powerful magic weapons. Some people even use magic gems to enchant. So much so that now there is a prototype of the gold team with the boss. The people who are addicted to monster farming liver equipment rarely even do tasks anymore. Ask for the second mission of the Dark Group, Blood Crow, and no one, come to the Master to bring it, the Transcendent Second Order can't beat it. The Blood Raven is so fast that it can unleash bows and arrows with additional magic at great distances, and it can also summon undead creatures. The Blood Crow can only be said to be average. The third task is terrifying, to kill several powerful monsters. At this stage, only the Eastern Emperor Tai and others are attacking. In the center of the noisy Bay City, it is full of people who are brushing dungeons. But it's not very lively here, and the most lively is the trading area. It's really lively over there now. The main thing is the increase in dungeons, so that everyone can have more dungeons to farm. But most of them are normal and adventure level dungeons. But there are also several special quests of one kind, daily quests. Boar Princess. Level, Transcendent Second Order. A large wild boar, violently pounding on the farmland. Suzuki's cold, blood-red eyes flashed. Riding Will eyes. The wild boar made contact with the eyes and instantly paused, motionless. Was beheaded by Suzuki's shuriken that burst out. Tisk, nothing dropped. Suzuki pouted, refusing to admit that he had black hands. Replica to complete, the replica will be refreshed at 0 point in the origin space. This is the daily dungeon, which can be farmed once a day. You can get materials, points, and so on. Scatter the dead and look, what the boar princess dropped. This is a pork chop, and this spiritual gold material. Naruto said excitedly to Suzuki, seeing that his face was cold, but he didn't care. Scatter death, you won't pit again, 5 daily secret realms today, you haven't lost anything. It was as if it had poked Suzuki's sore spot. No road race. Ha 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 ha. Naruto saw that Suzuki was in a hurry, and jumped to his feet and laughed. Humph, you're still laughing at me, look at you, a few simple copies, you're still injured. Looking at Naruto who was laughing, Suzuki felt that his luck was dark, and he couldn't help but mock. Haha, I was accidentally hit by that third order earth dragon. As he spoke, a boy ran over to him. Suzuki, Naruto, please bring darkness. Jongwuji, have you finished brushing the secret realm every day? What can be brushed? It's all finished. Let's go to the dark brush evil cave today, brush it a few more times, and see if it will produce skills. Then let's hurry up, give death, you start a group. And not far from them. Naifeng, Buletin Jingyun, Qinshuang, and Jian Chen, the 4 of them started a group. These 4 were all brought in by Xianba. There are also Nameless and Juggernaut. After all, Xianba himself is alone, and with these 2 joining, he can be more confident in the origin space. As for the fear that they will surpass themselves. If you're afraid of this, then what kind of hero are you? Moreover, when they enter the origin space, he is their leader, which is the rule of the origin. Unless they can ignore the rules of origin. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to hurt him. Strategy for the All Heavens dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 40. Dakin. With a wave of his hand, a blessed hammer emitting holy light slammed into the bluestone slab 100 meters away. Boom. An explosion rang out. The place where the hammer of blessing fell, leaving a large crater several meters in diameter. It's a good power, and the dark skill will get stronger and stronger as it grows. Even in the end, with these skills, you can kill gods and demons. Yang Zheng exclaimed, and then looked at Zhao Gao, who had been waiting for a long time. Your Majesty, as explained by the UN Lord, the first joint meeting of the origin of the heavenly raiders is about to begin. Yang Zheng was stunned for a moment, and hurriedly looked at his light curtain. Why didn't you remind me earlier? Go, hurry up and change me into civilian clothes. Origin space. The Great Hall of the Heavenly Raiders. The forces of all parties arrived early. On the side headed by Great Qin Yingzheng, there are officials or hundreds of schools of thought behind him. The side led by the Great Elder of Kyushu also had a team of 100 people behind him. In the case of loose people, in addition to themselves, they can only bring 10 people. 5 party scattered raiders. Yin Susu took Zhang Sanfan, Liudaing 7 heroes, Xie Suan and Zhang Wuji. Butterfly Shinobi takes the 9 pillars and his ghost-killing team leader. Xianbo leads the world to the meeting. The Sword Saint and Nameless and others, of course, also join the world society. The last 2 parties should only be counted as one side, after all, they are from the same world. But they each received a loose invitation. So occupy 2 seats. Everyone in the main hall knew about this, and they found it very interesting. It's actually 2 children. However, no one dares to take these 2 lightly. Because they are so small, but they are very strong. Especially the grinning, blonde kid. On its seat, there is a small fox, which is a 9-tailed fox. It is somewhat similar to the UN Masters, but the difference in strength between the 2 is very different. But don't underestimate this fox. Among the raiders, no one can restrain this fox now. Unless Great Qin and Kyushu dispatch the contractor. But the appearance of the contractor is too difficult, and no one has successfully contracted so far. And the other child, with a pair of evil eyes and a body of strength, is also extremely powerful. And listening to them, they are just the lower ninja of a village, the weakest transcendent existence. This made everyone very interested in their world. So they're all waiting for their dynamic copies. Buzz. In the main hall, on the high platform, a floating figure suddenly appeared. Meet the Patriarch. Epic sat down leisurely, waved his hand, and motioned for everyone to sit down. With a wave of his hand, the dome of the main hall was covered with clouds and mist, and among them, there were neon fairies and lotus steps moving lightly, serving spirit wine fairy fruits to everyone, or playing fairy music. Then he smiled and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, today is the first meeting of the Heavenly Raiders, and I have seen the efforts of the Heavenly Raiders for many days, which is very good." Before everyone was about to pat him, Gun immediately waved his hand, stopped everyone's words, and continued. "I know what you mean, but I don't need to say more. Today, I will summarize your efforts and changes in the origin in the past few months." Everyone was sitting in a precarious position, even the active Naruto, when the era came over. The warmth of the eyes that soaked into the bottom of my heart purified my soul and sat down quietly. The spirit fruit in his mouth also hurriedly swallowed it, and sat down with his hands straight. And the epic is also beginning to officially begin. First of all, there is only one type of dungeon mode, and that is the killing mode. No matter which dungeon it is, it's all about killing monsters and getting points. So, I'm going to open other more modal dungeons in the future, so that those who don't like fighting can play the strategy. Ino paused to let the crowd digest the information before continuing. Then there is the dungeon secret realm type, except for those manifest dungeons, it will disappear after clearing the level, and then manifest in the secret realm. There are still 9 daily dungeons left, among which there are monsters ranging from the first order of the Transcendent to the 7th order of the Transcendent. Then there is one multi-dimensional Transcendent dungeon, which is the Dark Destruction Mystery Realm. There are 3 modern post-apocalyptic dungeons, 2 zombie dungeons, and a humanoid monster dungeon. Speaking of which, Eno looked at the crowd. You're too slow, you haven't cleared 3 modern apocalypses for so long. There are even 2 of the secret realms, the progress of the strategy is less than 1%, and only Resident Evil, the progress has reached 60%. When everyone heard this say, their hearts tightened. Is this an expression of dissatisfaction with everyone? However, you all have your own difficulties, Dakin is short of manpower, and Kyushu has external reasons, I understand. Thank you, Master. Yingzheng and the Great Elder got up and hurriedly spoke. Eno nodded, smiled, and continued. After that, in another month, the 2-star dungeon secret realm will be opened. The 2-star secret realm will also begin to appear as human immortals and even earth immortals, you need to pay attention. Well, that's all for the dungeon. Next, I'll tell you about the raiders.